January 20th, 2025 Crest Hill City Council meeting to order at 7 o'clock p.m. I would ask that everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag and please remain standing after the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Today we certainly want to take a moment of remembrance for Martin Luther King, a gentleman who brought much change, nonviolent change, nonviolent protests to the United States of America. Changes that were much needed. We've come a long, long way as a country, but we're not there yet. So we certainly want to honor his life and his legacy for everything that he did in bringing peace and equal rights to our country. We would certainly want to extend our condolences to his family, thank him for his sacrifices that he made during his short life to bring change to this country. We also want to remember in our prayers and thoughts all those people in California who have lost their lives, lost property, who've lost everything that they've owned. We ask that you keep them in your prayers also. For all the first responders who are still battling the fire, keep them in your prayer. Keep all of our first responders, all of our police, fire, nurses, healthcare workers, everybody in your prayers. So I would ask for a moment of silence for both Martin Luther King and for the tragedy in the state of California. Thank you. Roll call, please, Chris.
Ray Solomon,
Here.
Glenn Conklin,
Present.
Scott Dyke,
Here.
Jennifer Mifflin, Darrell Jefferson, Claudia Gazal,
Here.
Tina Oberlin,
Present.
Mark Sapedi, Nate Albert,
Here.
Joe Kuba.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, I would ask that we deviate to the mayor's agenda item number 9. We have several guests in the audience this evening, and you have before you an agenda item to approve a resolution honoring Jason F. Opiola on his retirement as Deputy Chief of the City of Crest Hill Police Department. We will begin with the reading of the resolution, and I would ask that the person next to the one who is absent to read their portion also, and we'll begin with the reading of the resolution with Alderman Dyke.
Resolution 1276, a resolution honoring Jason F. Opiola on his retirement as Deputy Chief of the City of Crest Hill Police Department. Whereas Jason F. Opiola began his law enforcement career with the Lansing Police Department in September of 2000, where he graduated from the Police Academy and worked as a patrol officer, and whereas Jason F. Opiola began his career in September of 2001 as a patrolman for the City of Crest Hill Police Department, where he also worked as a field training officer, truck enforcement officer, firearms instructor, was a member of the Joliet Police Special Operations Squad, a commander with the Will County Grundy Major Crime Task Force, and served on the board of the Will Grundy Major Crimes Task Force as treasurer, and
Whereas Jason F. Opiola was appointed Deputy Chief of Patrol of the City of Crest Hill Police Department on August 2nd, 2021, and over the course of 23 years of service has received numerous recognition, commendations, and awards. And whereas Jason F. Opiola served the citizens of Crest Hill in addition to being an active member of several boards and organizations, including graduating from the Northwestern University staff and command class of members and board members of Will County Police Chiefs Association and the Illinois Police Chief Association member and the International Association of Police Chief member. And
whereas Jason F. Opiola during his, you okay? In tenure as Deputy Chief of Police was instrumental in providing leadership for numerous departments, accomplishments, most notably responsible for the development and internal procedures to comply with the Safety Act, security system for the newly constructed city center, the continued participation in the Illinois Traffic Safety Enforcement Program, the addition of the yearly mental health screenings and counseling services for Crest Hill police officers, and collaborator in the office to host the first neighborhood night out community event. And whereas Jason F. Opiola retired from the City of Crest Hill Police Department on January 3rd, 2025, and has, during his 23 years of service, protected and secured the safety of all Crest Hill residents. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Mayor and the City Council of the City of Crest Hill, Will County, Illinois, as follows.
Section 1, the mayor and the city council of the city of Crest Hill wish to express their heartfelt gratitude and profound expression of thanks to Jason F. Opiola for his dedicated years of service to the citizens of Crest Hill. Section 2, the mayor and the city council extend their best wishes to Jason F. Opiola for a productive and joyous future, for his continued success in whatever endeavor he chooses.
The Crest Hill City Clerk is directed to forward a certified copy of this resolution to Jason Opiola and make the original of this resolution available to members of the general public during normal business hours at the City of Crest Hill's Clerk's Office. This day, Christine Verche Hall.
So move as presented, Mayor.
Second.
A motion by Alderman Albert, seconded by Alderperson Oberlin for the approval of the resolution. Questions or comments? Roll call.
Scott Dyke.
Yes.
Claudia Gazal.
Yes.
Tina Oberlin.
Yes.
Nate Albert.
Yes.
And Joe Cool.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you.
All right. I'd like to invite Jason to the podium. Certainly, as a city of Crest Hill, we wish to thank Jason for his 23 years of service to the city of Crest Hill. We want to certainly thank his family, his wife, his two sons that are here tonight also, for the sacrifices that you made, Denise, for the boys, sacrifices that you made. But know that those sacrifices were not made in vain. It was because of Jason's commitment, dedication, and loyalty to the city of Crest Hill that he improved the quality of life for each and every one of our residents. He rose up through the ranks professionally, and for that we're very grateful for the sacrifices that he also made to do this job for 23 years in some tough and trying social circumstances that we live in today. We certainly want to wish you the best of all your future endeavors, no matter where they take you. We certainly are grateful as a city for everything that you've done for us. And I can tell by the amount of officers that are here with us tonight, you are well respected within the police department also. Personally, I'm going to miss you as a fellow White Sox fan, Joliet Catholic fan, but I'll be seeing you at the football games. But I know that one thing, even though that I'll miss him, our friendship will never waver. We've had some very good discussions over the years, and our friendship will always remain the same. So I appreciate that. On behalf of all the residents of the city of Crest Hill, I certainly would like to present you with a copy of this resolution for you, for your family, and thank you, and are grateful to you and your family for everything that you have done to improve the quality of life for all the residents of the city of Crest Hill.
It wasn't an easy decision to come and retire from here. I've had relationships with all of you, friendships with all of you, and it means so much to me that you honored me this way. Thank you to my wife Denise, my son Nathan, my son Braden, for all the years of support. I know they sleep a little easier knowing the decision I made to go into the private industry. My career has had a lot of ups, a lot of downs, but I would not have changed a thing. I could not have done the job that I did without people that are standing back here, the people that are out on the street now protecting you, protecting your families, the residents of this town. This is a great town to work for. You've got the best police department. You've got the best people. I'm honored to work alongside. To Ed, who's been my mentor, my friend, I will miss our discussions. I'll miss the calls from each and every one of you, not the ones after hours. But I will miss it. I'll miss the events, the residents. I'll miss everything. I won't be too far though. My job is, been fortunate enough to be that I'll be still alongside different government agencies, so I'll still be involved. This probably won't be the last you see of me, unfortunately or fortunately. It's been a long career, but a very, very honored and respectful career. I won't leave you hanging on too much longer. Notre Dame is up 7-0. Let's hope that they continue on that path. Thank you for this. It truly means a lot.
Sit tight for a minute there, Jason. Open it up to City Council for any comments anybody would like to make. Anybody from City Council?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you. I don't know how much you can say more than that. You know, you wish you could say more to express all that you've done for this community, the residents, for the police department, but really appreciate what you've done here and wish you the best of luck in the future. Thanks again.
Well, I'm going to thank you personally as well for some of the conversation that we had and some advice that you gave me for my son as well. I took them very to heart. I know you helped me with a couple events with Meet at the Park, and I was one of the people that always called you on your cell phone, so I apologize. I'm probably going to be happy. But thank you for your service, and God bless you. That's all what I can say. I don't understand why you're leaving. You know, I took it hard. I don't know why you're leaving, but you have to do what's best for you. Good luck.
Well, I was going to tell you, welcome to the world of retirement that I just entered, but it sounds like you're not really retiring, you're just changing careers. But it's been a long time here. I've been here even longer than I have, which has been a long time. So I wish you well in your endeavors, and thank you for all the things you've done for this city and the residents of this city. And I hope your life in the future is a joyous one. And I know your wife is going to sleep a little easier, and your children as well. So thank goodness for that. So good luck.
Jason, thank you for your leadership in the police department. I know all the guys and gals have looked up to you for years. You're a tremendous asset to our city, and I'm sorry to see you go. But most of all, thank you for your friendship. And it's nice to see that people my age are retiring too, so I guess we can start counting down the days.
He's in his 50s?
Jason, thank you for your service to the residents of Crest Hill, and I wish the best of luck to you and your family going forward.
God bless you, buddy. Thank you for everything.
Anybody from city staff? Any family members like to come up to the podium? No. Say anything? Any of our officers?
I just tell Jason, I'll give him a couple calls at like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, just to make sure he's used to it. You don't wanna go off of that too quick,
All right. You have a great night.
Thank you.
See you around, Jason.
You all have
Okay.
my number if you need anything.
All right, moving back to the agenda items. Number 1, I would ask for a motion to open and conduct a public hearing with respect to an Alternative Water Source Distribution System Improvements, amended PEID.
So moved as presented.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderperson Overland, seconded by Alderman Albert, to open a public hearing at 7:15 PM to conduct a public hearing with respect to an alternative water source distribution system improvements. Roll call, please, Chris.
Claudia Gazal,
Yes.
Tina Oberlin,
Yes.
Nate Albert.
Yes.
Joe Kubal,
Yes.
Scott Dyke.
Yes.
Motion carries, thank you.
Okay, public hearing is open at 7:16 PM. I will turn it over to our city engineer, Ron Wiedemann. We also have representatives here from Strand and Associates, but I'm going to let Ron go first. You do have information in your packet. Ron?
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, we're holding this public hearing tonight. We did this about a year ago with our project plan for the IEPA. Since that time, we've modified the plan slightly. Because of the modifications to the plan, we need to amend the preliminary environmental impact determination, which is the PEID. So right now, before I hand it over to Chris to do a quick little presentation, anybody that provides comments here tonight, we will pass those along to the IEPA. If somebody would like to provide comments, they have till January 31st. They can send comments to Chris Covert, the project manager for the infrastructure financial assistance section of the IEPA. He's at 1021 North Grand Avenue East, P.O. Box 19276, Springfield, Illinois. Or you can send comments directly to myself here at the city, and I will forward those over. And again, we will collect comments until January 31st of 2025. Okay, Chris, ready?
Can I
Thank
just
you
put
for-
you on hold for
Yes.
1 second? I get a text from Gerald. He's not gonna make it because he's still stuck on the road. He's out of town. And Alderman Sapiti said he did contact you, that he's running late. Did you get the message? Okay, so he's on his way. Sorry about that.
No, thank you for having me tonight. I feel
Forget it.
horrible that, I'm glad you didn't put this first, that you did that, but I felt horrible that I was between him and his family, and I'm probably in the pictures and everything. But I do know Jason, and I appreciate Jason as well. So as Ron mentioned, we've already, this is a preliminary environmental impacts determination. When you're going for federal money, which for a lot of these water projects, we're trying to get IEPA, low interest, state revolving loan funds. When you're going for those types of funds, you have to go through environmental clearances, consult with a lot of regulatory agencies, and then you have to present that and give the public a chance to understand what the project is and comment on it. It's alternative water source distribution system improvements. This is the switch to Lake Michigan water. You can see it covers a various number of loans there. I think there's 5 different loans that this would cover. Caton Farm Road reinforcement water main. Phase 1 of lining of the US 30 water main. And then another loan covers the remaining 3 phases of that, phases 2 through 4. Another loan would cover the Eastern Grand Prairie Water Commission site with a storage tank and a receiving and pumping station. And then the amended portion is a Western Grand Prairie Water Commission receiving and pumping station. So this is from the initial one that we did last time. I just want to explain what the changes were. If you remember the previous one, all of the Lake Michigan water was going to come to one location near the corner of Caton Farm Road and Oakland. And from that station, we are going to extend a new water main down Root and Sac to take water from the eastern portions of the city to the western portions of the city. That also included that purple dash line that you see going down Broadway and Theodore and Plainfield Road. All that water main to be lined. So everything is still in the project except for that water main down Root and Sac. When we found out what the Grand Prairie Water Commission was delivering as far as water pressures, we realized they could deliver water directly to your system, especially on the western side of town. So after investigations, we found that putting a receiving facility on the western side of town at Caton Farm Road, and I always forget that it's 25.
Linwood, it's Linwood, it's just west of Linwood on Caton Farm. It's the second parcel west of Linwood.
So it was an available lot, the city owned one of the lots and purchased another one of the lots. By putting that station there, it was cheaper than the water main down Root and Sac, and it was better. It created a redundant supply location and similar pressures. So here's a rendering of what the site would look like with that receiving facility there. If you recall that from about mid-year last year. And then this slide just goes to the fact that we have consulted with the regulatory agencies regarding historic preservation, endangered species, natural areas preservation, Wetlands Act, water resources, and 10 Native American tribes were consulted. All of those entities showed no adverse effects and had no issues with the project. So that, like Ron said, there's a document that's available for the public's review, if they care to look into that
The
more.
document right now is located at the clerk's window, so anybody can just ask and they can review that document. Again, if they have any questions, they can reach out to myself or Chris Covert from the IEPA, and we can we'll take your comments and then address those comments, and they'll become part of the report.
That it?
Yep.
Any questions from city council? Questions or comments?
I forget to ask if there's any public comments.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chris. Anybody in the audience would like to come to the podium and speak for or against public hearing? Comments? Let the record show that no one has approached the podium. With that, I would ask for a motion to exit and close the public hearing.
So moved as presented.
Second.
For a motion by Alderperson Overland, seconded by Alderwoman Gazal, to close the public hearing at 7:23 p.m. Questions or comments? Roll call, please, Chris.
Nate Albert,
Yes.
Joe Kubal,
Yes.
Scott Dyke,
Yes.
Claudia Gazal,
Yes.
Tina Oberlin.
Yes.
And Mark Sepiti.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, public hearing is closed at 7:23 p.m. Moving on back into regular session. I would ask for a motion for the approval of the minutes from the regular meeting held, city council meeting held on January 6, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderperson, or Alderwoman Gazal, seconded by Alderman Dyke, for the approval of the January 6, 2025 city council meetings. Questions or comments? Roll call.
Tina Oberlin,
Yes.
Mark Sepiti.
Yes.
Nate Albert.
Yes.
Joe Kubal.
Yes.
Scott Dyke.
Yes.
And Claudia Gazal.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Okay, moving on to our city attorney, Mike Steph. Good evening, Mike.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I have one agenda item for you tonight. In your packet, you will find a memo regarding the amendment to section 12.36.020 regarding mailbox damage claims. This was discussed last week at the work session. Councilman Sepiti brought this matter forward, and the discussion last week centered basically around the amendment of the amounts to be paid on a mailbox claim in section 12.36.020. The council settled on raising the single claim to $250, and then the 2 mailboxes per post to $300, 3 mailboxes per post to $325, and 4 or more mailboxes per post to no more than $350. As I pointed out in the memo, as I read through this section, I thought it could be cleaned up. I did not draft this initially, so I took the opportunity to make it, in my view, a little bit clearer. I also put in tonight's packet the original ordinance so you could compare what I did versus what it was. Again, I don't think it's anything in the way of a significantly substantive change, but like I said, I think it just made it, the language a little bit clearer. But the main thing is that the amounts that you agreed upon and directed me to include have been made in this ordinance. Other than that, I'll answer any questions.
Any questions of the attorney? Motion would be in order.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Sapiti, seconded by Alderperson Oberlin, for an ordinance amending section 12.36.020, settlement of chapter 12.36, mailboxes of Title 12, streets and sidewalks of the City of Crest Hill Code of Ordinances. Questions or comments?
Just want to say thank you, Mark, for bringing this. It was a great idea.
Roll call, please, Chris.
Joe Kubal,
Yes.
Scott Dyke,
Yes.
Claudia Gazal,
Yes.
Tina Oberlin,
Yes.
Mark Sepiti,
Yes.
and Nate Albert.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries. Ordinance 2011.
I have nothing else on the agenda, but happy to try to field any questions you might have.
Just a reminder, that's for you and the city administrator. I brought up about the community room. Are we gonna have this on the next agenda? Because it was supposed to be on the last agenda and didn't happen.
I forwarded what I had drafted last year to Tony and Dave. Dave said that he had experience drafting these before, so I think Dave Strahl and Tony were getting together to try to finalize it, so I know it's on tap for a future agenda. I just don't know which. I'll leave that to Tony.
Yeah, we need to sit down with the clerk's office, mainly just to look at who are going to be the organizations that we're going to state can use this community room. And one of the topics that Dave Straw brought up was a lot of nonprofits and homeowners associations and all that needs space like this. The way the community room, the event application has insurance requirements that we think we need to modify those in regards to, we had $1 million liability policy. We think that's a little bit too high for those type of organizations. So we're looking at, besides the community event or application, we're also looking at what type of use we're going to be looking, who's going to use that community room. The main thing is looking at other communities. Most of them have nonprofit, non-religious, non-political type of use for the community room. And it's not open like for birthday parties, things like that. We're going to put a chart together and bring that back to get your guys' feedback. What type of groups do you want to use the room to?
It's what we used to do in the older city hall. It's the same thing. It's non-profit and associations. We never open it for parties.
Right. So we're just cleaning up the exhibit to be clear on that. So. And Dave will be back. So we'll have it's on the agenda. It's on the work session agenda next Monday.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, thanks, Mike. Moving on to our city administrator, Tony Graff. Tony?
Yeah, I have one item on the agenda, follow up to the consideration of cameras in the workplace. We did clean up the last paragraph and eliminated the specific language about local 150 employees, and now it says for all employees. And then the last sentence we cleaned up and added in regards to disciplinary action or misconduct violations, not just for criminal activity. So I think we've captured all the concerns that were talked about at the last meeting, and I would look for approval.
So moved.
And I do believe there is a resolution for this, correct? The agenda item doesn't say resolution. I'm pretty sure I drafted a resolution.
Oh, I didn't see one. It might have been in the last one.
This was over a month ago. I
Yeah,
drafted the
it probably was
resolution.
in the last one. Because it's going into the employee manual.
second?
So there should, I drafted a resolution, so there should be a resolution. So I think the motion should be to approve a resolution.
Okay.
I can circulate it to the council so they see what's going to be signed pending your approval, but I think it should be by resolution.
For the motioner?
I'll change it to vote on the resolution.
Second.
Do we
motion
have to
by
have vote like a
Alderwoman-
number or something, or? Okay.
We have a motion by Alderwoman Gazal, seconded by Alderperson Oberlin, to approve a resolution for the consideration of cameras in the workplace policy changes, employee handbook edition, revised per discussion January 13, 2025. Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Mark Sepiti,
Yes.
Nate Albert,
Yes.
Joe Kubal,
Yes.
Scott Dyke,
Yes.
Claudia Gazal.
Yes.
And Tina Oberlin.
Yes.
It'll be resolution 1277.
Okay. And then my city administrator's report, we did have a leak from our gutters in the employee entrance. We called out the contractor. He did a temporary repair for now because of the way the weather is, which prevented it from freezing up again, causing an ice problem near there. It's very dangerous back there. So Julius mainly spearheaded that and got the contractor out here right away with a recommendation to do a temporary repair. Just for information only, in my report, White Oak Library District has a referendum proposition on the April 1st ballot. And it's a referendum to increase their limiting rate. Just for information, if you want, I could reach out to them and invite them to maybe come and give a presentation from their, usually Friends of the Library are the ones that sort of lobby for the referendum. Or if it's just for information only, then that's fine, but I can reach out to the library to see if you want them to come by and give a presentation. Nothing new from Stateville Correctional Center. They are going through their solicitation for the construction management and architects, which they've always stated it most likely wouldn't be till March or April when they make a selection. The fire district training facility, the project, they did turn in their plan unit development application. It's under review, and tentatively, we need 1 or 2 more documents, which we're hoping we're gonna get them tomorrow or Wednesday. But we're looking at the public hearing at the Planning Commission on February 13th, if we're able to get the advertisement in the paper by the end of the week. The Lockport Township Fire Protection District, we're still working with Public Works, with the Fire Protection District, in regards to the fire that took place at BL Duke Scrap Metal on November 1st. We are looking at applying for some grants in reference to communication to improve the ability for the district and our police department to work with our Public Works and Water Department. We did notify that it did work with the phone system, but with the new type of radio communications, Chief Clark is definitely working on the grant, and I think we're got good possibilities of getting some funding to be able to get radios in with the Public Works vehicles. And they're be handhelds too for the operators, so be able to communicate with, especially life safety issues with water. We're also putting together the cost estimate for the impact from the fire to all our infrastructure. And we'll be working with Attorney Stiff on preparing a letter to send to the company in regards to the damage and request for reimbursement. Job announcements, the building inspector, we did get 2 candidates that were interviewed. Conditional offers were provided to them. One was a full-time position and one was a part-time position. So we're still waiting for responses back in regards to them accepting the conditional offer, and then we'll work through the next step, work with Dave Straw in regards to their backgrounds. The city administrator search, if you remember, we approved the GovHR MGT recruitment. They did provide me a search schedule. I'll have that ready for you at the next work session to go over the schedule. They also provided some recommendations for the job description. I'll provide that too. They're very minor. They're in the qualification area. They also would like to open up the qualifications we had in our job description for municipal experience, but they'd like to open it up for the recruitment, military and the private industry too. And it seems like there's definitely been, for recruitment, definitely some military retirees are moving into the municipal government, especially in the management there. So I think it's something to explore. I'll bring you the job description recommendations for next Monday's meeting. Water replacement, we're still working with property owners, and we got a program that seems to improve our chances to get into the homes, to get the meters replaced. Places for eating tax, we had our hearing on this last week for administrative adjudication hearings. None of the businesses showed up. So the two that were definitely in violation received fines, and we also issued more citations. We are working with the city attorney. We'll be bringing you a recommendation and other civil action that we could take for non-payment of this tax, and also in regards to business licenses too. So I'll be looking for an executive session at the next work session to go over the options to authorize the city attorney to file civil suit for non-payment besides the administrative hearing. The West Sanitary Sewer Treatment Project. We're at 60%, but the problem we had recently was the cold weather. The clarifier froze up, and we had to have emergency work done Thursday, and it's on the agenda tonight in regards to the emergency order for the landscape company to come in to haul the sludge out and also to unfreeze the clarifier to get it working. That's on the agenda tonight, and it says change order number 8. Ron's got a few more change orders that are coming in through the reconstruction of the project, and that's why you'll see different numbers. But this one was an emergency. It did work on, they did get out there on early Friday morning. We're able to get everything operating again, and if you notice, the sludge was spread over on the Stateville Farm, which they have a permit to do, which is over in Division and Weber. Nothing new with the crime lab. I think they're still waiting for Stateville to figure out where the infrastructure is going to come from, and we're pushing real heavily with them that we should bring a new water line and sanitary sewer line instead of connected to the old system. And then the old City Hall property, we did get the extension along with their payment, which is non-refundable. They plan on having their public hearing scheduled in March. It looks like we'll have their PUD application next week, and that'll get put on the public hearing in March for Planning Commission. So, and I think that's going to help a lot once we see their traffic study, which will get reviewed, how that's going to impact our challenges we have with NAP too, with the speeding and pedestrians and stop signs and everything else. Anything else? I'd answer.
Any questions, City Administrator?
Just one of the businesses contacted me right before the meeting, so I'll talk to you about it afterwards.
Okay.
Tony, for Winterfest, we had some banners made. Are we going to be able to reuse those banners for next year?
I believe
Those
so.
banners did have the year on them, just like they did the previous year. So I highly doubt that they will use them again this year.
I wasn't here, I wasn't able to attend, I had to work, so I didn't know, that's why I asked if those are reusable or not. Thank you.
They were pretty nominal, I'll say that. And in regards to the request from the library, I think it would be our benefit to at least give Scott Poynton from the library an opportunity to come here at our next city council meeting on February 3rd to discuss the referendum that they have proposed. Any objections?
Nope.
All right, Tony, we're going to reach out to the library tomorrow for
Yeah.
seeing if they'd like to make a presentation just like Lockport High School did.
Okay,
last year.
thank you.
All right, thank you.
Tony, one more thing. Are we gonna figure a solution with that cornerstone? It's been sitting there for over
Yeah,
a
we're-
year. We spent so much money on it.
We got, FabWorks is working up a proposal for Don Seaman, how we can place it on the outside. And I'll check with Don to see what our proposal's at. There's another alternative, instead of putting it against the wall, maybe put it into an actual stand, so it could be, on the wall, it's hard to be seen. So we're thinking maybe we could put it by the front door, but in the, where the stones are at, and have it standing there. But it'd be out of the way for snow removal and things like that.
I think we should put that in discussion. A cornerstone should
Yeah.
not be standing on a sign, should be on the building, but that's not my call,
Okay, well,
that's the rest of the council.
We still got the proposal for the company to put it in set.
Okay, moving on to our Public Works Department, Julius Hanson. Julius, good evening.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. Just wanted to kind of reiterate what Tony already said. The West Plant is obviously under construction. Everybody knows that. We've had some super cold weather, and basically the plant was operating a little sluggishly. It has to operate while the construction is going on. The major construction has impacted the operation, but we're working through it. But we had a window of opportunity Friday with the temperatures about 50 degrees, and it was the consensus of everyone that's involved in that project to seize the opportunity on Friday to basically do a really good cleaning of the components that needed to be cleaned to help it run efficiently. So we talked with Strand, the engineer, Ron and I were involved talking to each other. We talked to the contractor that was out there. I talked to the village manager. We wanted to seize that opportunity on Friday, so we're here to seek approval for the change order number 8, the $55,757, because we didn't want to go into this polar vortex week without doing this work prior to that. And so we have Dominic here, who's the engineer from Strand that's running the project, for any questions. Ron and I are here for any questions, but we wanted to bring this to you post haste and get the work done post haste, and so that's why we're here this evening. So if you have any questions, certainly feel free. We'll try to answer them the best we can.
Any questions in regards to the request?
Maybe just for preventive measures, what are you putting in place for this not to happen in the future?
I think we've kind of come to the point where we're going to try to clean it more periodically, like every 2 weeks has been put out there. Obviously, this weather is extreme, and so it just makes everything more difficult no matter what you're doing, starting your car or whatever. So imagine a sewer plant under construction, it just makes things more difficult. So just trying to clean it more often, I think is basically the solution, and hope for better weather.
A motion would be in order.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Albert, seconded by Alderperson Oberlin, to approve the emergency work shown in change order number 8 with Vistering Construction Company to complete the work to structure 60 existing excess flow clarifier to transfer material from the west sewage treatment plant to the east sewage treatment plant, not to exceed the amount of $55,757. Questions or comments? Roll call.
Scott Dyke,
Yes.
Claudia Gazal,
Yes.
Tina Oberlin,
Yes.
Mark Sepiti,
Yes.
Nate Albert,
Yes.
and Joe Kubal.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else, Julius?
No, that's it. Thank
Any
you.
questions of Julius, Public Works?
Yeah, I had, in the past, had talked to our previous, department head there before you, and I had asked him about some truck signs, and over on Theodore and Center, the no truck sign there is faded.
Okay.
He said he was gonna get that replaced, and on Theodore and Highland, there's no sign even at that street.
So Theodore and Highland, no sign, and what was the other one?
Theodore and Center Street, the sign there is faded.
Okay,
All right,
take a
thanks,
look at that.
appreciate it.
yeah.
All right, thanks, Julius. Moving on to our city engineer, Rod Wiedemann. Good evening, Rod.
Thank you, Mayor. I got a few items on the agenda tonight. The first is I'm looking to approve a resolution approving a construction agreement for the 2024 sanitary cleaning and televising by and between the City of Crest Hill, Will County, Illinois, and Hoyer Construction, Inc. for an amount of $89,760.
So moved as presented.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderperson Oberlin, second by Alderman Albert, to approve a resolution approving a construction agreement for the 2024 sanitary cleaning and televising by and between the City of Crest Hill, Will County, Illinois, and Horror Construction Incorporated for an amount of $89,760. Questions or comments? Roll call.
Claudia Gazal,
Yes.
Tina Oberlin,
Yes.
Mark Sepiti,
Yes.
Nate Albert,
Yes.
Joe Kubal,
Yes.
Scott Dyke.
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution 1278.
The next item is a resolution approving a construction agreement for Ludwig water main replacement from Center to Cora by and between the City of Crest Hill, Will County, Illinois, and Len Cox Sons and Excavating. Again, this was for $119,000. This was discussed at the last workshop.
So moved.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Alderman Dyke, seconded by Alderman Albert, to approve a resolution approving construction agreement for the Ludwig water main replacement from Center to Cora by and between the City of Crest Hill, Will County, Illinois, and Len Cox and Sons Excavating. Questions or comments? Roll call.
Tina Oberlin,
Yes.
Mark Sepiti,
Yes.
Nate Albert,
Yes.
Joe Kubal,
Yes.
Scott Dyke,
Yes.
and Claudia Gazal.
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution 1279.
And the last item on the agenda is a resolution approving an engagement letter by and between the City of Crest Hill, Will County, Illinois, and Chapman and Cutler LLP for funding through the Water Pollution Control Loan Program and is administered by the IEPA for the capital projects required for the city to switch to Lake Michigan water supply for not to exceed amount of $20,000. This was also discussed at the last workshop.
So moved as presented.
Second.
Motion by Alderperson Oberlin, seconded by Alderman Albert, for a resolution approving an engagement letter by and between the City of Crest Hill, Will County, Illinois, and Chapman and Cutler LLP. Questions or comments? Roll call.
Mark Sepiti,
Yes.
Nate Albert,
Yes.
Joe Kubal,
Yes.
Scott Dyke,
Yes.
Claudia Gazal,
Yes.
and Tina Oberlin.
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution 1280.
Good night, Chris. And Dominic. Anything else, Ron?
That's all I have, unless council has any questions for
Any
me.
questions of city engineer? All right, thanks, Ron. Community development, Patrick does not have any agenda items this evening. We will move on to our police department, our police chief, Ed Clark. Good evening, Ed.
Evening, Mayor and Council. I do not have any items this evening on the agenda, but I will entertain any questions.
Any questions of the police chief? Thanks, Ed.
Thank you.
Mayor's report, we took care of the agenda item. Any questions? Moving on to our city clerk's report, Christine Verche Hall. Chris?
Good evening, and I have nothing to report tonight.
Any questions of the clerk? Moving on to our city treasurer, Glenn Conklin. Good evening, Glenn.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. 2 items tonight, only one requiring action. First is I seek your approval on a list of bills issued through January 21st, 2025, in the amount of $2,578,886.75.
So moved as presented.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderperson Oberlin, seconded by Alderman Dyke for the approval of the list of bills. Questions or comments? Roll call.
Nate Albert,
Yes.
Joe Kubal,
Yes.
Scott Dyke,
Yes.
Claudia Gazal,
Yes.
Tina Oberlin,
Yes.
and Mark Sepiti.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you.
I thank you all for that. And lastly, not requiring action, just reporting that our regular overtime payroll from December 30th, 2024 through January 12th of 2025 totaled $278,101.32. That's all I have this evening, unless anyone has any questions.
Any questions of the city treasurer? Thanks, Glenn.
Thank you and good night.
New business, we have nothing on the agenda. Anybody? Unfinished business, anybody? Committee liaison reports, anyone? City council comments. Positive city council comments, anything you'd like to share with your constituents? Moving with Alderman Duval.
Nothing at this time, Mayor.
Alderman Dyke, or Albert,
Nothing at this time, Mayor.
Alderman Sapiti,
Nothing at this time.
Alderperson Oberlin.
Well, I would just like to reiterate the meaning behind today and what we're honoring. And it's not just honoring his memory, but the work that Dr. King started that we hope continues, because it's really hit some snags in the road in the last few years. So if everybody would take a moment to think how they could probably encourage his line of thinking more in their everyday life, that would be a great thing.
Alderman Gazal.
Nothing.
Alderman Dyke.
Nothing at this time, Mayor.
Public comment. Anyone like to address city council, please step to the podium, state your name for the record. Address is optional. Linda.
So everybody's been talking about tap-on fees for lots. So my grandma had an extra lot, and maybe about 10 years or so ago, my aunt insisted that they paid a tap-on fee. I came to the city, and they said they had no record of it. And she said, you just keep looking, keep looking. So tonight I was going through some old papers today, and I found it that they did pay a tap-on fee to the city of Crest Hill. And we were told when we sold it, after she passed away, well, you could get more money if it was tapped on and it had the lines going to it. So who keeps the records for these at the city? Just curious.
I would say that the water and sewer department.
Okay. Well, I'll be in tomorrow to see if they have a copy of this. Okay. 'Cause they didn't have it when I came down here last time.
Okay. That's not yours, is it, Chris, that you take those? No, I didn't think so. All right. Okay. Mike, there is a need for a quick executive session, is there not?
There is. Basically, the exemption is 2C8, security procedures. It actually, the exemption is 2C8, security procedures, but it also involves the use of personnel during a real or threatened emergency. I could read the whole thing, but security procedures is what we're looking to do.
So moved, yes, presented.
Second. We have a motion by Alderperson Oberlin, seconded by Alderman Albert for executive session for 2C8. Questions or comments? Roll call.
Joe Kubo,
Yes.
Scott Dyke,
Yes.
Claudia Gazal,
Yes.
Tina Oberlin,
Yes.
Mark Sepiti,
Yes.
and Nate Albert.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you.
All right, we'll be going into executive session at 7:53 PM.